Hey, let's just get some headlines before we get into insurance talk. Number of things I wanted to hit real quick. Hey, Tony Romo, he's out 6 to 10 weeks. This guy cannot take a hit. We all knew this was probably going to happen again, and not connected to his other injuries with his back, but the L1 vertebra. And but you know what? Hey, Dak Prescott's been looking really good, and if he's the guy that's going to be out there, then maybe he'll be as good as he's been so far. So
you do realize it's preseason, right?
I know, but maybe it's when it's Cowboys, you got to hope. It's just all about hoping for anything, because we're cursed.
Agreed.
We have Cowboys, curses and quarterback curses. I don't know what's going on. It's maybe Jerry curse. I don't know.
I was just hoping he would make it through one game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think he'd be out in preseason. I figured he would be out. I just didn't know it'd be this quick.
Yeah, or at least get through one series.
Right. Right.
That would be nice. Staying with football, unfortunately, I didn't like this. Colin Kaepernick, who I thought was a great player. I don't know why or where he started sliding down. He went to the bench. Who knows if he's going to play at all, or if he's just going to play from the bench this year or not. But I thought he was a great athlete. But then he comes out and he decides he's going to make some sort of stand, which I'm not sure he really knows what stand he's making. And he wouldn't stand up in the national anthem. And then afterwards, says it's because, that he doesn't want to this is the wrong stand. Why?
I completely agree.
It's if you want to make a statement, come out and just make a statement regarding specific things that have happened in the nation. Don't come out against the flag, against the nation, against the great United States of America and disrespect it by not standing up. And it'll be interesting to see what the people in the NFL and in the media say about this, particularly sports media. But he says, quote, "I'm not going to stand up to show pride in a flag for a country that oppresses black people and people of color." And he was saying this to quote, "To me, this is bigger than football, and it would be selfish on my part to look the other way. There are bodies in the street and people getting paid leave and getting away with murder." And that was quote by Kaepernick. Again, this is not something that I'm going to run by anybody. He was talking to NFL media. "I am not looking for approval. I have to stand up for the people that are oppressed. If they take football away and my endorsements from me, then at least I stood up for what was right." And that was quote unquote from Kaepernick. So we're not really exactly sure what he's saying or what type of stand he's saying, and why you would decide to do it, in a preseason game and not stand up with the national anthem. Doesn't make any sense to me, especially doing it during a game. I mean, we're talking about an employer that has made more African American millionaires
Right.
In the NFL than any other company. So that doesn't quite jive with what he's doing right there.
Possibly use your money for something positive instead of negative.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we know that things, go wrong in our nation, but, it's a great nation, and I would think, why is everybody else in the world trying to come to America?
That's right.
They're not trying to go to other places. Would he have the opportunity to play football and generate the type of revenue that he's making in some other country? No. You have that opportunity here in the great United States of America. So to me, you stand up when that national anthem is played, or don't come out of the locker room. Just stay in the locker room.
Exactly.
Right.
And
right.
It's funny that we jumped all over the gymnast that didn't put her hand over her heart for the national anthem, but you're not seeing the same kind of outpour or the people being as upset about this. They're saying, "Oh no, he's got a valid point," and whatever his point is or wherever his stance is, that's fine. It's his, and he has that right,
Sure.
obviously.
Absolutely.
But it's just disrespectful, and I think
I agree.
I think that's part of what's going on is a lack of respect, possibly on both sides. But being disrespectful is not a solution ever.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Oh, I completely agree. I get choked up just still hearing it, but I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I think his core his core thoughts are pure. You know, he's upset about things that are going on in the nation. You know, as are we all. But you don't blame the United States of America. You know, you don't
Right.
you don't disrespect the flag. You know, people are the ones that are doing these things, and they are the minority of people. Majority of people here in our country are good people. They are not racist. You know, we've created, you know, a country where we all have the opportunity to get up and work and do whatever we want to become whatever we want. That's why other countries send people here. You know, that opportunity doesn't exist in other countries. It's like Dinesh D'Souza said, unique opportunity for you to come here, become American. You can't go to India, become Indian. You can't go to Mexico, become Mexican, or anywhere else. People come here to become American. And so that is an amazing opportunity to live here in this country. I think it's a privilege to be born, you know, and to live, and for those who come here to come to this country. And so I think we should appreciate that. And if you're going to make a stand on something, well, come out and make a stand on it. You know, do an interview with somebody and say, hey, here's what I think. You know, I'm Colin Kaepernick. This is what I think about this. You know, don't make a stand that's frivolous, again, against the flag and against the anthem. And I just think that was ridiculous. Wrong place, wrong time. Think it out a little bit.
Right.
You know, and don't do that to the NFL. I mean, who's made more African-American millionaires, I mean, than any other company. You know, so it just is kind of ridiculous to me.